Hey, I'm Andy Aledort, and this edition of In Deep is dedicated to Southern rock guitar styles. We're going to be looking at rhythm and lead guitar parts in the style of some of the greatest Southern rock bands, such as the Allman Brothers, Lynyrd Skynyrd, Marshall Tucker. Let's get to it. One of the staples of Southern rock rhythm guitar is to play arpeggiated rhythm parts that combine chordal figures with little single note riffs. You're going to hear that in songs like Sweet Home Alabama, or Midnight Rider, or Can't You See, by Skynyrd, the Allman Brothers, or Marshall Tucker. So let's start off with an example that's along the lines of Lynyrd Skynyrd's Sweet Home Alabama. All right, so in this rhythm part, I start with a D5 voicing, and then I'm going to move to C sus2, G with the B bass, and then drop the G in, and then there's that little single note riff. As I was referring to, I'm combining chordal arpeggiations with single note figures. So let's start with the very first thing. 8th notes into 16th note syncopations. So I'm allowing notes to ring, but I also want a little bit of a sharp attack, and I have the pickup selection between the bridge and middle pickups for that Sweet Home Alabama sound. There's that little hammer. So right there, you want to make sure you let the strings ring as much as possible. And then I played the single note. So this is sort of based on D major pentatonic. But I'm using an F natural, so it falls in between D major pentatonic and D minor pentatonic. Repeat the first part. And then, so I just changed the lick a little bit the second time to make it more minor. And then it all repeats. So you want to make sure you keep a rolling sound with the strings ringing throughout. One of the things you hear in Lynyrd Skynyrd or in the Allman Brothers are thematic guitar parts, often played by two guitars, playing single notes in harmony. You do hear that on Sweet Home Alabama. There's a couple of real great signature licks. So this next lick is along the lines of what you're going to hear on that song. I'm going to be playing double stops, 2 notes by barring, and this is something that could be played on 2 guitars, but I'm going to show you how to do it on 1 guitar. So I'm outlining a similar chord voicing as the intro part. Before I had D to C to G. I'm doing the same thing here. So there's my D with an F sharp in the bass. And there's those double stops. So that's C, and then G. And that remains single notes. And that double stop brings us back to D. It's the 5th and the major 3rd, A and F sharp of D. And in these next 2 examples, I'm going to be using similar type figures working off of a D chord in 2nd position. And you're going to hear this on Midnight Rider by the Allman Brothers and Can't You See, a Marshall Tucker. So the first one is going to be more like Midnight Rider, and the second one will be like Can't You See, where arpeggiated chords are combined with little single note signature riffs. All right, so in this riff, I'm just holding that D5 the entire time, and I'm working a melody into the figure on the A and the D string. But keeping the chord in there. So I'm going to begin. It's a cool way to augment a simple rhythm part with a melodic bass-like figure. All right, this next example, again, uses chordal arpeggiations with riffs added, and this is a little like Marshall Tucker's Can't You See? So here I got this like a D sus2 voicing, and I'm arpeggiating first and eighth notes and then to 16ths. And you're going to hear a similar figure on Thank You by Led Zeppelin. So the C sus2 is exactly the same, except I have an open G, and my lowest note is a C. Then I move over to G, so you can see the entire time that ring finger never leaves the D note on the B string. And then I play a single note riff. But I keep that finger there the whole time, just because it makes it easier to jump back into the chord. And the figure ends. So that's sus played in a syncopated manner.